Well, of course, we are a small country, not as small as Denmark, but anyway, we are a small country, 17 million inhabitants, but we seems to be doing rather well in the respect of creative industries. And that as being the world's goodest country. How about that? This one. So, as you mentioned before, the creative industries in the Netherlands are one of the 9 top sectors, and they are a top sector for over 10 years right now. And why did creative industries become a top sector? So next to water and health and high tech, etc. Well, I really don't know. But it has something to do with Richard Florida, who wrote this publication about the creative class. And then suddenly the Labour parties in the UK and in Australia discovered the potential, the huge potential of creative industries, and that's why the Labour government in the Netherlands also caught up with this trend, apparently trend, and made the creative industries one of the top sectors. And it lasted for over 4 years until we, as being creative industries, discovered that we were a top sector, because we didn't, well, of course we didn't know about this policy thing which is called creative industries. And then suddenly we were presented a yellow card in terms of football, so we didn't seem to do quite well. And that makes us wonder whether we should step up and oppose, or organize ourselves, because the complaint was we were too fragmented to deal with, and that's when we built this Federation of Creative Industries, which I am happy to represent right now. So this is the whole time schedule. It's not for today interesting, but it is interesting. And what is the aim of the this top sector policy is the Netherlands to become one of the top 5 knowledge economies by the year 2020. So we have 2 years to go right now, but we sort of seem to do quite well in this respect. And this is based on backing the winners. So apparently sectors who already did quite well, like water or high tech or whatever, they should be sort of having some backwind delivered by government policymakers. And this policy is based on what we call this thing, the triple helix or golden triangle. It's a close collaboration between government, industry, and knowledge sector, like the academia, etc. And in the middle of this triangle, there should be created value, and the value is what we bring to the table is always in the perception of the user, because this is as you can see, is a technological concept. The creative industries in the Netherlands are like, and the DGA is one of our members, so we consist out of 9 professional bodies, is over 150,000 creative companies, which makes us 10% out of the total jobs in the Netherlands. And this huge amount, I don't know whether this comes from this 23 billion turnover, etc., 2% yearly growth. And we have some, rather good, well-doing festivals like the Amsterdam Dance event, the International Documentary Festival, and the Dutch Design Week, which actually are innovation hubs and become innovation hubs more and more. And of course we have some star architects and star designers and star game designers bring to the table as well. This top sector policy has really some benefits for the creative industries, and this sums up to, I don't know, probably somebody with a device can help me there, but I think it's over like 20 million euros per year like 4 million euros is going to the innovation ClickNL, our innovation unit. 10 million euros is going for the Creative Industries Fund, and etc., etc., and 200,000 to our internationalization portal. How does this landscape looks like? This again is the Federation of Creative Industries, so this actually unites architects, designers, gamers, digital designers, advertising agencies, fashion designers, photographers and pop musicians. Well, this seems a rather odd combination, does it? Well, it actually is rather odd. But along the way, we seem all to benefit from at least meeting each other once a month and setting up events, etc., and learning from our business models, our complaints, and what's happening in our creative industries, because for all of us, this creative is key. What we actually do in this federation, which is in fact is quite a archaic construction, is managing public affairs for the creative industries, which is really important. Do some publications, knowledge exchange, and we manage the internationalization efforts for the creative industries. This is the website, and this landscape comprises also a design council, Dutch Creative Council, which is really some kind of independent, should be some kind of independent advisory board for the creative industries and policymakers. So on top of this schedule, you see the ministries of economic affairs, education, culture and science, and foreign affairs working closely together in respect to the creative industries. Then they have installed some kind of thing in the middle. It's called a top team, assigned, appointed by the government, and headed by a figurehead. So somebody who's really representing the creative industries. And then we focus on 3 public affairs agenda items. It's human talent, innovation, and internationalization. In the real world, it looks like something like this. So it's still rather fragmented, but anyway, we seem to have solved the issue right now. Public affairs, that's key for our members. So in a joint effort, we focus on innovation, internationalization, and human capital, as I said before. This human capital agenda, that is first, is solved in a generic approach from all the top sectors. It focuses on innovation and, amongst others, lifelong learning. And there has, a couple of months ago, a roadmap has been published. Innovation, this is really rather doing well. This focus on crossovers. And this money invested by the government in this ClickNL institute, the Innovation Institute, is based on a matching principle. So, and this counts for all the top sectors. So if we, as the sector or the companies, want something to invest money-wise, so the government should be willing to match this effort by the same amount. So this causes an investment for the next 2 years for 8 million euros, and for this will going to be invested in the development of key enabling methodologies in 3 roadmaps: design for change, value creation, and the human touch. So that's always where we focus on. Right, and this will be done in field labs, and one of them is called ultra personalized products and services. So I have to be rather quick about it. Internationalization, So we created this brand, which is called Holland, Creative Holland. We developed a strategy, branding. It's based on reciprocity. Thank you so much. It's always this word. And this concept of creative embassy. So between Amsterdam and Munich, there is a knowledge line developed, which is called a Creative Embassy Amsterdam-Munich. This is a little clip, and this is a brochure, and this is what we do because we not are selling products. We don't sell products. We sell knowledge. So how do you do that? This will be best done during a conversation, and that's what we did at the Medica fair last year in Düsseldorf, which is one of the biggest trade fairs on medical equipment. So what we actually did, we installed a picnic table for over 20 meters long and facilitated the discussion. That's what we did, and this worked out quite well. I mean, rather than selling goods and stuff. What's next? We now focusing on, as the top sector policy will do as well, on grand challenges like mobility, cities, food, etc., health. We are strongly connected to the efforts to improve our labor market position. Will be done by gaining and developing market power. That's the key asset in this respect. We are going to create a stronger public affairs agenda. We will focus on diversity and inclusion, which is key for creative industries, should be key, will be key. We will develop solid business models, which aren't there right now. We will focus this in the context of the new or creative economy. We will attend the discourse or set up discourse because we're not really participating in the discussions on the new economy or the next economy right now. We should be there. We should be at the table. And we will also be focused on professionalizing demand and the tendering procedures, which are set up in the Netherlands and in Europe as well, and probably in your country as well. And by all this, we should stay really authentic. That's what we should do as creatives. And this came forward in the discussions this morning as well. So that was about it. Thank you so much.